Trump's classification of Mexican cartels as terrorist organizations has triggered a massive escalation. Intelligence reports indicate cartel groups are stockpiling explosives along Texas border and refining paramilitary tactics. Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum is seeking a close coordination with Washington, but if negotiations fail, the United States may consider large-scale military operations. Cartel networks maintain strongholds in California, Texas, Arizona, and expand distribution hubs in cities like Chicago and Atlanta. Estimates suggest these organizations generate over $20 billion annually through drug trafficking, illegal weapons sales, and money laundering. Their activities impose an economic burden of up to $200 billion, including costs for law enforcement, incarceration, and health care. Experts estimate that dismantling these networks could require 100,000 troops and cost around $50 to $60 billion.
How you doing, YouTube family? Today is Thursday, February the 6th, 2025. It's your man, Big D, and I'm back with another one. I want to thank all you good folk out there that continue to show support to my son and I. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Well, family, what is your opinion on Donald Trump classifying the Mexican cartels as terrorist organizations, terrorist groups? And by President Trump classifying these drug organizations as terrorists, this allows him to use the full force and might of the United States military. Now, we also know that the president of Mexico is doing her best to try and assist the United States of America with this endeavor. But we have to ask ourselves this: is it really going to be enough? Classifying these cartels as terrorist organizations or terrorist groups, will it be enough to stop the influx of drugs that are pouring into our country? You see, family, you have to look at this thing from a social, economic mindset. And you have to understand that we have been waging a war on drugs for many, many years. And I can tell you this for certain: the money that has been made off of the illegal narcotic trade in this country is so ingrained with our current economic status that if we were to eradicate drugs, if we were able to stop every piece of drugs coming into this country, it don't matter if it's heroin, cocaine, marijuana, ecstasy, what have you. If we could stop all these drugs from flooding across our borders, would it be enough? Well, family, I'm going to say this. I would venture to say that if we were able to stop drugs from flowing into the country, that it will cause such a huge burden on our economic system, because you got to understand, drugs, the money that's made from the illegal drug trade is so ingrained with our everyday economic system, jobs, government. This illegal money is ingrained and entangled with the very fabric of our society. So I would venture to say that if you did stop the illegal drug trade, you are going to cause financial woes even further for the people in this country. That's right, I said it. If you stop the drug trade, it is going to significantly hurt our economy. So now, let's look at the next thing. As long as there is a buyer, there's always going to be a supplier. What you mean by that, Big D? I'm glad you asked. As long as you got people in this country that like taking drugs, like doing drugs, you ain't never gonna stop the demand for drugs. As long as there is a couple people that's gotta have they heroin, that's gotta have they powder, that's gotta have they crack, that's gotta have they MMDA, whatever you want to term it. As long as you got people like that, you're gonna always have somebody saying, hey, we can make a whole lot of money by supplying their demand. So until the American people can stop getting high, stop taking these illicit narcotics. And when I say illicit, I'm talking about cocaine, I'm talking about heroin. I'm not necessarily talking about cannabis, because I believe that cannabis has its place on the medicinal level. So I believe when used medicinally, that cannabis can be beneficial. I didn't say abuse it. I said use it medicinally. So as long as you have people that have a desire and a need and a want for these illegal narcotics, you ain't never gonna be able to stop it, because somebody gonna always stand to make some money. And then you also got this part of it. Who's gonna pay for all this? Because you got to understand, our military is only so big. We already spread thin throughout the world. So now you're going to send troops down to the border. So you heard from the video that to do this, to have these soldiers down at the border, it's going to cost American taxpayers a lot of money. In the words of Donald Trump, a lot of money. So at the end of it, until we as a country kick the dope habit, we ain't never gonna stop the influx of drugs. I mean, when you look at just the big pharma, we have issues with the pill mills. I remember when I was, my previous career field, we had issues with the pill mills that was popping up everywhere, and these doctors was making mad cash, charging these customers, these patients that was strung out on these pills, charging them cash business. And when you pay cash, the IRS can't track you. So they was getting paid hand over fist. And this turned into a huge epidemic in our community. So it had to be addressed. So when I tell you that this country has always been addicted to something, alcohol, pills, pornography, wickedness, we got all types of addictions in this country that we can't seem to kick. So until we as a country get our ish together, you're going to always have somebody out there that's going to stand to make some money off our woes and our addictions and our pains and our suffering. So, family, we have got to do better as a country, because it ain't nowhere in the world you gonna stop every little piece of drug from flowing into this country. Oh, some gonna get by. And then you gotta look at those people that's in these government positions. You don't think some of them are getting their pockets lined? You don't think some of them getting paid from this illegal drug trade? Of course they are. So until you get rid of the treachery at the high levels, until you fix the people in this country where they're no longer addicted to this poison, we're going to always have a problem, family. Going to always have a problem. But now the financial burden is going to fall on us taxpayers, because somebody got to finance this. Somebody got to pay for this. And as I said, Our military is not what it used to be. Our military is not the strong, mighty army that everybody in the world feared. We're just not there anymore. I mean, countries still have a respect for us, but not like it used to be. So family, we got some problems, but we're also going to see how this is going to play out. You know, the thing about those, the cartels of today is that a lot of those, they're soldiers that provide security and protection for the cartel's foot soldiers. A lot of them boys, they're paid guns. A lot of them boys got military training, tactics. A lot of them boys, a lot of them came from specialized top tier groups from the military. May have been the Special Forces, Delta Force, Rangers, Navy SEALs. Listen, because you got to understand that you have people that serve in the armed forces, but if time get hard, perhaps everybody can be bought. And you have people that swore to uphold the Constitution of this country. A lot of them go and join the cartel. They switch sides because from a financial standpoint, I guess the cartels pay better. But family, what say you? What are your thoughts on this matter? Will this solve the problem? This new designation designating the cartels as terrorists? Will this solve the problem, you think? Or is it going to cause more issues? Well, family, I would love to hear what you think. Family, always remember, be more tomorrow than you were yesterday. Peace.